Hey everybody, Backpack Hack here coming at you with another trail tip about hanging a bear bag PCT style. Now PCT stands for the Pacific Crest Trail. Why it's named after that trail and how it came to be named this method, I don't know, but it's a way of keeping your food away from bears. When you're camping or backpacking in bear country, it's always a good idea to make sure that the bears don't get into your food, because if the bear constantly gets into human food, it becomes a nuisance and they might have to put the bear down. So we, as responsible outdoors people, want to keep our food away from those bears. And there's two ways to do that. One is a bear canister, and the other is to hang a bear bag. Now, I have two problems with a bear canister. This is a Bear Vault BV 450 or BV 500, I'm not sure which. But there's two problems I have with this. Number one is the weight. It weighs about a pound in and of itself, and that's just weight that you would have to put in your pack. The other problem I have with it is the theory behind this is you take it like 200 or 300 feet away from your camp, set it down, is that a bear can smell the food. It's not an enclosed canister. If a bear smells the food, it's going to investigate. The bear may either roll it away somewhere to where you can't find it, or the bear may damage this canister to the point you can't open it. So even though you've kept the bear away from your food, the bear has kept you away from your food. So I prefer to hang a bear bag. And when I'm in bear country, I prefer the PCT style. Now, I do my PCT style a little bit different. We'll get into that. But in order to do this, you're going to need some sort of container. In this case, this is a dry bag, but you can use like just a drawstring bag or just any other container that you feel is necessary. And you're going to need some cordage. Now, this is a white utility cord. Normally, I use paracord for this, and the paracord that I buy in bulk is a natural tan color and is not going to show up very well on this video. So I'm going to use this white cordage, which is not ideal because it's a little bit rough, and I'll show you why I use paracord later in the video. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started on this tree back behind me, and I'll show you how I hang my bear bag with a PCT style and a couple of BHP differences. Now, ideally, you want a bear bag hanging at least 12 foot off the ground, because that's about how much an adult bear can reach. You want that food that far up. The problem with hanging a bear bag traditionally, where you simply throw a weight over the limb, hoist the food up, and then tie it to the tree trunk, is simply because the bear is going to naturally try to get to the food. Not going to climb it, but it's going to think, well, can I lean against the tree? And could easily claw your cordage to the point where it breaks and then the food falls down. And that's the beauty of a PCT style, is because the weight is not being borne at the bottom end of the cordage. It's being borne up at the bear bag. Now, for this method to work, to get the bear bag that 12 feet off the ground, you need a limb that's sufficiently higher, preferably about 25 to 30 feet. Now this one is about 22, 23, so we're awful close, and it's going to be good enough for the demonstration. In part of my rendering my firewood, I try to come up with a piece of wood that I can use as a weight. The idea here is you want something heavy enough to get over the limb that you're going to use and have enough weight that it will pull the cordage down. You don't want to have it get up there and then stop on you, and then you've got no way to grab it and pull it down. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tie my end of my cordage onto this simple piece of firewood that I'm going to burn tonight in the fire. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lay the string out so it doesn't do this. Lay my cordage out so I don't have knots in it as I throw it. So I'm going to get all these knots out of it. And now let's see how good of a shot I am. And there we go. I'm done with my weight. Now this is where one of my methods alters from the traditional PCT style. I'm not going to tie it here to the end of this cordage. I'm going to put a knot about where it reaches the limb. So I'm going to pull enough, hopefully, to get a knot about where that limb was. And I'm just going to put a simple overhand loop. That is where I'm going to tie my bear bag onto. Now you could simply take, or I could simply take and tie this directly into the clip of the bear bag. And I could do it this way. However, I'm going to do it, this is my other change. I'm going to actually use 2 carabiners. I have 2 carabiners clipped together. One is going to go directly onto the bear bag. One's going to go directly onto the bear bag. Now it's time to hoist the bear bag. Now, this is where the PCT style comes into play. This is where normally you would tie this to your tree. But like I say, if a bear gets a hold of this and breaks it, your food could come down. But you'll notice my food is not coming down. That's the reason I have this extra cordage. So once I get it up there, I can pull it down. That's why I put that other piece of string here. So if it does snag and I can't get it to come down, I can pull it down that way. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take this rope that you used to hoist it with, and I'm going to put it through this second carabiner. I'm going to hoist it back up. And then, since I'm near a tree, I should be able to find a small stick, and it doesn't need to be very big. It only needs to be the size of an ink pen. And I'm going to put a simple knot in here. And what that's going to do is it's going to jam when it gets to that carabiner. And there is how I hang my bear bag PCT style. Now I know it's not 12 foot up in the air. It's about 8 or 9, but it still gives you a representative example of how to do this. So now, to retrieve my food, I simply come back, and this is the reason I use the 2 carabiners, is so I don't have to worry about that jam stick interfering with my bear bag. I bring it back down, remove the stick, and there is my food. All they have to do is just disassemble everything and it comes undone. And that's how I hang my bear bag PCT style with a couple of little differences. So this is Backpack Hack coming at you with this trail tip. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment on my videos. Be safe out there, and I'll see you out on the trail.